Welcome to Diggin's Garden Tech. I'm Farmer Tyler. Today I'm at Grow Big Supply with the Director of Education, Sean Lucas.
Thanks, Tyler.
So we're going to look at indoor lighting. What makes lighting for plants indoor unique?
Well, it's important to keep in mind when you start with indoor gardening, we're trying to recreate nature inside, and part of that is recreating the sun. When we talk about garden lighting and how light is measured, you'll hear the word foot candles, lumens, and it's important to keep in mind a lumen is a spectrum that's seen by the human eye. Within that spectrum is wavelengths between 300 and 700 nanometers, which are the actual photosynthetic active radiation that causes photosynthesis in plants. This is called parwatt. That's what actually causes growth and photosynthesis.
So all these lights produce within that spectrum 300 to 700 specifically for plant growth.
Correct, absolutely.
So this I am familiar with. This is the T5.
Right.
And I use it for vegetative growth because it produces so little heat. Yeah, where do you often see it?
You know, T5s, it's a high output, low wattage lamp. They're often used in vegetative and cloning growth, mums, leaf crops, lettuce, things like that. So they're inexpensive, low heat signature, and throw out an awful good footprint.
So good introductory light for a beginner grower.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go more advanced.
Okay.
So probably the next most common that I see in a garden is the metal halide.
Yes, sir.
So what's the advantage of the metal halide?
Metal halide has a spectrum and a temperature anywhere in the 3,000 to 4,000 Kelvin range. You know, for flowering crops such as tomatoes or other fruits, you may not necessarily have the particular type of growth you're looking for out of a halide.
What would be another option for flowering crops?
Light-emitting plasmas are some of the newest technology coming out here. If you can see in there, and don't look directly at it, it's awful bright, the light bulb is about the size of a jelly bean. But the amount of photon energy these throw out is absolutely stupendous for the amount of wattage that's being pulled.
So one of the lights that I've been hearing about the most about is the Gavita. So can you tell me a little bit about the unique things about this light?
Absolutely. Gavita is one of the largest agricultural light companies on the planet. Some of the things that make this bulb, this fixture specific to indoor gardening is its efficiency and its function. You can see here the aluminum on this fixture, right? This is called Miraphor, all right? This is the aluminum used on all style hoods and all style reflectors. This degrades at about 11% a year when I have a hot light bulb in the center of that. Now with other style hoods, you cannot replace this piece of aluminum. With the Gavitas, these are made to pop right back out. So every year when you relamp, let's throw in some new hoods, and I'm never going to lose efficiency. We also have extremely high frequency digital ballasts, delivering more photon energy per second, and they're all controllable, and yeah, it's an excellent source of light.
All right, so one of the most unique features I've heard about the Gavita is it can actually throttle back the amount of energy it's pushing out, or the heat it's producing, based on the temperature in the room.
Correct.
So this little sensor can actually detect the temperature in your room, and then it will lower the amount of energy output so it's not overheating your room.
That's right.
It's the only time I've ever heard of that.
That's right, absolutely. This is something new and specific to Gavita. This little controller here, this is an EL2, will control up to 80 lamps. It also has different variable temperature controls and sensors for different rooms. So as the heat rises in your garden, it will lower the wattage output of the lamp by 10 watts at a time. If it gets to a certain state and the heat hasn't dissipated in your room, that means either your air conditioning is broken or you have some other problems with your ventilation. It'll shut down the lamps entirely and alert your cell phone or your alarm to let you know you have a problem in your garden.
Cool. This guy is the Black Dog LED.
Yes, sir.
So you can tell the spectrum difference. The HPS put out a pretty orange color, and the LEDs seem purple and red. What's going on here?
Right. It's a bit of a mixed spectrum. One of the highlights of the LEDs is you can tell there's very little heat signature under here. So these are preferred by gardeners who are in smaller spaces or looking for efficiency from, say, energy output versus what they're pulling from their electricity.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Tyler.
Very educational. Please follow the link for more education, where you could take a class with Sean at Grow Big Supply or with an expert in your area.